Imagine waking up to discover that 1/3 of Australia wanted to leave the nation entirely. It sounds impossible, yet in 1933, Western Australia voted overwhelmingly to break away from the Commonwealth. The referendum succeeded. The people spoke. The paperwork was sent to London. And for a brief moment, Australia's map could have looked very different. So why did Western Australia almost become its own country? And why did it never happen? In the early 1930s, Western Australia felt isolated from the rest of the nation. Vast deserts separated Perth from the eastern states, and many Western Australians believed Canberra cared little about their struggles. The Great Depression hit hard. Wheat prices collapsed, businesses failed, and unemployment soared. Across the state's dusty wheat belt towns, frustration grew. Farmers watched crops wither under harsh sun while governments argued over policy. Many believed joining the Australian Federation in 1901 had brought more disadvantages than benefits. By 1933, a movement that once seemed unthinkable was gaining momentum. The campaign for secession was led by a determined Perth businessman named James McCallum Smith. Through his newspaper, the Sunday Times, he relentlessly argued that Western Australia had been treated unfairly since Federation. His message resonated. Across the state, public meetings attracted large crowds. Farmers, business owners, and ordinary workers gathered in town halls lit by flickering lamps to discuss a radical idea, leaving Australia altogether. On the 8th of April, 1933, Western Australians went to the polls. Alongside a state election, voters were asked a simple question: should Western Australia withdraw from the Commonwealth of Australia? The result shocked the nation. Nearly 68% voted in favour of secession. Ironically, on the very same day, the government that supported secession lost office. Philip Collier's Labor Party, which opposed separation, won the election. Despite this contradiction, the referendum result could not be ignored. The new government reluctantly agreed to carry out the will of the people. A delegation was formed and sent more than 14,000 kilometres to London. Their mission was extraordinary. They would petition the British Parliament to allow Western Australia to leave Australia and become a self-governing dominion within the British Empire. In 1934, the delegation arrived in Britain. They carried documents, legal arguments, and the hopes of hundreds of thousands of Western Australians. For months, the issue was debated. Yet a major obstacle soon emerged. Under the Statute of Westminster and evolving constitutional conventions, Britain increasingly viewed Australia as responsible for its own internal affairs. The British Parliament was reluctant to interfere in disputes between Australian states and the Commonwealth government. In 1935, a parliamentary committee examined the petition. Its conclusion effectively ended the dream. Britain ruled that the matter was for Australia to resolve, not London. The delegation returned home empty-handed. The movement slowly faded. Economic conditions improved. New infrastructure projects connected Western Australia more closely to the east, and the urgency for separation diminished. Yet one extraordinary fact remained. Western Australia had held a democratic vote to leave Australia, and won. Today, Western Australia's secession referendum remains one of the most remarkable and little-known episodes in Australian history. The vote of 1933 was never overturned. It simply could not be implemented. The story still resonates because it highlights the tensions between geography, identity, and government. Nearly a century later, occasional calls for secession still emerge, reminding Australians that the question of belonging has never completely disappeared. If you enjoyed this story and would like to see more forgotten, unusual, and fascinating chapters of Australian history, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. New videos are released regularly, exploring the places, people, and events that help shape Australia, often hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.